Welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from No Diet Babe. I'm a spiritual mindset coach and weight loss expert. If you are a spiritual babe wanting to up-level your life around your body, health, wellness, spirituality, law of attraction and manifestation, then this is the podcast for you. I'm here to give you the tools, teachings, and strategies to manifest the body and life of your dreams. As spiritual babes, we know to focus on love as opposed to fear. So get ready to learn how to implement spiritual teachings to weight loss, wellness, and your daily life, coming from a place of love and abundance. This is a celebration of how we can shift our inner perception of ourselves and watch our outer selves shift. You can become the best version of yourself, and I'm here to help. So let's get started. Hey babes, welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from NoDietBabe.com, and welcome to today's episode. Today I'm going to be talking about a limiting belief that tends to come up for people in general and for myself that I've been working through as I do my own manifestation / self-development journey. And I wanted to talk about this from a general life perspective and also a weight loss perspective, because we often struggle with this belief, well, I have anyway, of it's too good to be true. That's something that sticks out to me whenever I'm doing work around stuff and I ask myself, what is the belief system here? My brain pops up with too good to be true. And I do remember, I have journals from 8 years old onwards. Crazy, I know, but most of it is not that great to read over. But there was a journal entry at age 19 when I got into a relationship, and then I was I knew it was too good to be true, right? So I can see that that's a belief system that I carried throughout my life. And now when I'm, up leveling and I'm thinking of manifesting different things, it's often a thing that comes up for me of too good to be true. So I want to talk about that today. I also just wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by my No Diet Babe Academy. The No Diet Babe Academy is 4 modules of amazing in-depth content around how I shifted my mindset around food and weight and was able to lose 30 pounds and keep it off. It's great in terms of covering so many different bases around my mindset, but also practical strategies that I used around weight loss. So it's really that combination of a little bit of everything. It's absolutely fantastic. It's helped people lose weight from a place of self-love as the foundation. It's also helped lots of women overcome binge eating and emotional eating. So it's fantastic. It comes with 4 modules, so you get over 10 hours worth of in-depth content. And you also get meditation. So you get cravings meditation, you get a post-binge meditation, and you also get a letting feelings flow meditation. So it's a really, really great course. And it's also a great way to get access to my energy via the course. It's a self-paced course, you guys. But it's a great way to get access to my energy without having to invest in the higher level programs and courses such as Emerge and group coaching and one-on-one coaching. So it's a great way to just have access to my energy, have my voice in the background, retraining your thought systems and beliefs so you too can have ease and weight be the weight that you want, basically. I just feel like I just have so much ease and I just feel so solid where I am now. So I want that for everyone else too. So go check it out, nodietbabe.com/academy. Okay, anyway, you guys, I really want to tell you about this particular thing around too good to be true. So what I'm noticing, right, is that what I've learned anyway with myself is there's this point of upper limiting, right, that I've really noticed in my own life, right? Upper limiting meaning you can only tolerate a certain amount of happiness before you cause drama in your life. And yes, that's how it works. Yes, like we can't play the victim, although like most of the time I don't, but because I'm always, even if I'm complaining about something, I am self-reflecting, okay? But it's like we have this tendency to only allow a certain amount of good. And then when that good meter gets like too much, we manifest something dramatic, something going wrong to kind of make up for the balance, right? But even though it's like we don't want to say, oh, life is perfect or can be perfect and never have challenges, but the way you want to look at it is challenges equal growth and growth is good, right? So we're always going to have challenges. And I had a coach once that said you can either choose your challenges or you can be dealt with like the challenges that God gives you because you're not growing. So it's kind of like you can do the spiritual work, which feels challenging. It feels challenging to become conscious sometimes and not listen to your ego. Like I'm constantly challenging myself with the work and shifting my mindset, right? And I'm constantly doing growth. Like the work around food and weight was uncomfortable, right? And even a client was telling me today, she's resisted the work for so long because it felt uncomfortable to look at her deepest, darkest thoughts because she was always covering them up, right? So it's like a challenge to look at yourself. But then if you're not doing that work, you will be dealt other challenges, like, for example, financial struggle or weight gain or failed relationships, right? So it's either the universe will bring you challenge, in which case you might get to the point where you're like, okay, I have no choice but to grow from this, or you can do kind of like a prevention and grow yourself. And that's the challenge, okay? So you can see that it's not about like thinking that life is perfect, but you also get to have what you want, and you likely get to have more good than you're letting yourself have, okay? Because a lot of us have unnecessary suffering and stress that we create, okay? We create it. And it's also, stress is just our reaction to our environment, right? And we are in control of our reality. So we do want to change our perspective of stress, all right? Now, let's come back to this saying like too good to be true, because if you're like me and you're trying to change your limitations, right? You're trying to work on limiting belief. You're trying to receive things like love, money, and your ideal weight, right? You're trying to allow certain things into your life. Then you really want to work on this belief that it's too good to be true. So, for example, around weight loss, it might be that you've experienced so much struggle and a sense of feeling defeated that you form this belief system that it's never going to happen for you. And because your brain is basically recreating everything from your past, you've got a real solid sense of it not working for you, or that you have a poor metabolism, or that weight gain is just part of who you are. You're meant to be this way. It's in your genetics, or it's just how you are, right? There's a lot of evidence in your brain because of past memories, right? And experiences. But the thing is that a lot of people haven't actually experienced what they want to experience, which is weight loss with ease, and for it to feel stable, and for it to feel possible, and for it to not be about sacrifice or deprivation, right? So a lot of people have never actually experienced that. And because they've never experienced it, there's no evidence in their brain that it exists. So then in their brain, it's like, well, that's too good to be true because I've never experienced it. But even if they see somebody else living it, or somebody else that's lost weight, they come to this conclusion that, well, they must be different, right? So, or whatever. They just create more separation between themselves and what they want, okay? Which, being a vibrational match, means that you bring it, you're a match to it. It's like it's there, it's right there. It's not, you're not creating a distance, you're bringing it to you, right, with your energy. So with the too good to be true type mentality, some of you might even be, around weight loss manifestation, literally having a limiting belief saying, it sounds too good to be true because I've always experienced suffering around weight loss, and I know my body and I know what I've experienced in the past, and that means it's not possible. But can you see how you're just limiting your life on such a small amount of experience, right? Because it's only your experience, your past. But if you've never experienced what you want, then you're suddenly saying, I can't have it because I've never experienced it, right? So you're basing everything on your past, which is what most people do, and then they never get what they want because they're going according to the belief systems that have created their life thus far. Okay? So you essentially are just recreating your past if you're not shifting your belief systems, okay? Over and over again. So you'll go on diets and you'll go to the gym, but you'll continue to play out the same self-sabotaging patterns and then come to different conclusions. So then you'll start reinforcing other limiting beliefs and potentially creating new limiting beliefs, like it's because of a health issue, it's because of this organ or that organ, or it's because of this health condition, it's because of this medication, it's because I'm getting older, it's because of blah, 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 whatever. And then you create more of that because that's the story that you're telling, and then that becomes, you get more and more of what you're focusing on, what you're talking about, what you're complaining about, etc. Right? So when then I'm saying, well, you can manifest weight loss, it's like the brain saying, well, I don't see how that's possible, so therefore it must not be true. And therefore, like, it's too good to be true because I've never experienced it and it sounds too far-fetched. Therefore, it's too good to be true. How could something work out for me that's not worked out before? How can I experience something that I've never felt, touched, had in my real life experience if I've never had it before? And that's the thing. So I've been doing lots of study around like quantum physics and stuff like that, and it's really interesting that in the realm of quantum physics, we live our lives, right? We remanifest things from our past because we like predictability. right? We want to be able to predict what's going to happen because that keeps us comfortable. But in the quantum field, like in quantum physics, when you get what you want, it's actually I'm not going to maybe describe it as well because I'm just like learning about it now, but it's like it's about the unpredictable. It's about not necessarily knowing because you've never experienced it before, right? So when you kind of look at the unpredictable and then you kind of get caught up in, oh, but that sounds too far-fetched or that sounds too good to be true, then you block it, like you block it. So you have to play with the idea. You have to play in the energy and the frequency of it being possible if it's going to work for you. A lot of people manifesting weight loss can't work for them because they put it in the too far-fetched area because they've been conditioned to believe that weight loss has nothing to do with vibration, with law of attraction, right? So, but everything is energy. Like the more you see yourself as just matter, the more that your life will be bound to those laws. Whereas if you learn and train to see yourself in terms of energy, you can then begin to bend the rules and kind of within reason make your own rules around how your weight and food situation gets to be for you, right? So my advice to you is to just start expanding to that idea, start playing with that idea, start seeing things differently rather than basing your future on your past experiences around your potential to lose weight. To start to begin to build momentum around that because anything is possible, really. If you want to argue your limitations, then yes, you're going to have limitations. But if you start to expand and open to possibilities, then suddenly you're more open to solutions and you start living in a universe that is limitless, okay? So it's about understanding that you make the rules. You make the rules and it's up to you, okay? So whenever your brain is kind of like too good to be true, just remember that it's likely something you were taught when you were younger and it's a childhood programming. It's a childhood system. And now that you're an adult, you get to update your software, okay? It's time to update the software. You don't want to hesitate that little pop-up that's coming up like when you're on your laptop and it's like, I'll schedule this for tomorrow. It's time to update. It's time to update because you do create your own reality around weight and food, okay? And when you're saying you're operating on that belief system of it's too good to be true, you're saying too good. So you're saying that things can't get better or things can't get good, meaning I'm meant to endure suffering in life and suffering is normal. And some people, of course, have this martyr complex where they in fact want suffering to be reinforced that they're good, which comes from a lot of religious beliefs. But that's another topic altogether. But yeah, the point is that just keep an eye on how you're filtering the world, how you're filtering what's possible for you, how your conditioning and your subconscious mind is basically a child. And you have to update the software and you have to realize that if weight issues have been a thing for you, if food has been a thing for you, it's likely not ever changed because you've never updated your programming, right? And you just keep recreating the same thing over and over again because you haven't updated the stories. Okay. And that's really what it comes down to, is changing the belief systems. But even deeper than that, it's like you work on your belief systems in relationship to your food and weight, and in relationship to the way you perceive yourself and your life. Okay. So that's basically what I teach you to do in the academy. So I break down what I've done, how I shifted my belief systems. I shifted my perception of food, my relationship to food, my perception of eating in general, my whole mechanism of eating, and the way I viewed even like hunger and fullness and digestion and exercise, and the way I viewed my metabolism. And I connected the dots with understanding what I learned in science, but also understanding that I had to change my perception of how food had a part of my life and what it represented, and also what my hunger was. Because deep down, my hunger was emotional, unmet and emotional needs stemming from my childhood, right? So my hunger, as I thought it was not really true hunger. It had been distorted from childhood needs that were unmet, like social needs as a teenager, then became hunger. And I can remember the point where it started, and I just thought majority of people don't know anything different. You know, they don't know any different reality, so they don't identify as somebody who's emotionally eating. Or, you know, some people obviously know, and some people are binge eating and stuff like that, so it's really obvious. But even just enough to lose weight, you have to be able to create an a system in your body where it's calibrated very well, where you can trust your body. So it's like there has to be an aspect of looking at how your emotions relate to eating if you want to lose weight, full stop, right? You have to look at your relationship to food, full stop, because that's the foundation of not only having weight loss, but having stability for the rest of your life. Because it's one thing to lose weight, and it's another thing to not be a yo-yo dieter. They're two complete separate things, right? And a lot of people think that they can manifest weight loss, but then they're trying to do it every year, or they're trying to do it every 5 years, or when a traumatic experience happens, or they go through a breakup or some sort of stress and hardship, they gain weight. And it's like, yeah, but that's because you never dealt with the emotional relationship to food and your weight. Okay, so that's what is really going to make up the different puzzle pieces in order for you to truly manifest weight loss, right? And lifelong. This is about lifelong stability and in your results, right? It isn't about quick fixes or crash dieting, etc., etc. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to keep in mind whether or not you're playing that tape, that limiting belief of it's too good to be true. We don't want that shit in there. Let's switch that up to, of course, things get better. Of course, my life gets to get better. Of course, things get to be good. Okay? I love you guys. Make sure you go check out the Academy if you want to go deeper on these teachings and deeper around what I have done to achieve the success that I have with weight and food. nodietbabe.com/academy. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, I'd love for you to leave me an iTunes review. Don't forget to follow this podcast for more updates uplifting teachings to come. For more tips, inspiration, and teachings, come follow me on Instagram at NoDietBabe or check out my website, nodietbabe.com. Until I see you next time, babes, lots of love.